Look at the trees, how they're growing. This is a McCowan here in front. This is a Fortune. This will show you something right now of the genetic potential of the tree, or how it wants to grow. The McCowan on the right wants to grow with a strong central leader, straight up, like a pear tree. The Fortune on the left wants to grow outward. It did have a central leader. The central leader tends to shoot up quite fast and long, and then it bends over. And as it bends over, one of its side branches may take over as a central leader. So there's two basic shapes of the apple trees. Behind that, the third type is the Dayton. The Dayton is, so I love that apple, and I usually say that every time I make a video. The Dayton looks to be like a central leader type tree. It grows tall and straight, but once it gets up there, then it bends over. So I have this one sort of tied up, or would probably be leaning, and I wanted to let it get a little taller if I could. I was hoping that the central leader would thicken a little bit so it wouldn't bend over so much. So there's the Dayton, and let's look at the fruit set of it. Looks like that's doing pretty well. Not growing quite as fast as my Shizuka, but these are, that's about the average size right there, about 1.25 inches diameter. And not a heavy fruit set this year, but enough that I'll get a good taste of Dayton. This branch here probably has a little heavier fruit set than the rest of the tree. My orchard is fairly small. The number of apples I get are fairly small quantity. So it's about what I can eat anyway. The reason I say this is because I'm not growing the tree for the maximum size apple. I'm not thinning it for the maximum size apple yet. When the tree starts producing a lot more apples, I'll probably do that. Right now, the bugs tend to thin it for me. See there's chafer damage in the back of that apple. So they're thinning it. Why should I? That would fall off anyway. I did. So I'm going to just let the bugs thin it a little bit more probably, and I don't think I'll get too many apples that the size will vary much. Over here in the Fortune, I did notice a few apples. It's a biennial bearer, but there's 2 apples there. There may be a few more in there somewhere. Just enough to taste this year. It was loaded last year until the frost hit it, but enough survived. So there's the Fortune. Notice how it wants to be a spreading tree. And there's the McCowan. It wants to grow straight up. I've tried to spread it. If you can see some of the limbs, I've cut off at times. Like I would take a limb that was growing very vertical, and I would cut it to an outward facing limb and let this grow. And that would spread the tree a little bit, but it just wanted to grow straight up.